This is the Just Because Buzz, Thread Tales number 28. It's Saturday, November 12th, 2022. Thank you for joining me. I'm Marriage Crawford. I want to welcome you to my channel. We're going to talk about stitching, cross stitch, quilting today. Lots to share with you. I want to thank you so much for joining me, those that are returning, and I have some new subscribers, and thank you so much for coming in. I want to welcome you. I thank you for your subscription. And if you're new today and you're just now finding my channel, I hope you will like and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications when I do upload another video. I would love for you to do that. I have a goal of trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and I would love to do that by the end of the year. So tell your friends and let's reach that goal. I want to thank you all so much for welcoming my friend Wanda, also known as Louise. That got a bit confusing for some of my viewers. We somehow started that when I was living down in Alabama. We were quilting and sewing together, and we were calling each other Louise, and it's just kind of a funny idiom that we do. You know, if one of us is looking for something, we'll say, Louise, where did you put my scissors, or whatever, you know, just funny stuff like that. So it just kind of stuck, and we have enjoyed it, and that's why we call each other Louise. So it confused a few people, but hopefully they understand better now. I also just want to thank you for welcoming her. She was a little nervous, but she did great, and she has wonderful projects. She's a talented quilter and stitcher, finisher, just gardener. I love Louise, and she is just a blessing to me, her family, just all of them. And I got to spend some extra time with her while I was down in Alabama, and that was such a blessing to me. It was like making deposits in my bank account to carry with me back up here and just draw on. We did get to sew together yesterday via FaceTime, and we made some progress, and I'll show you what we worked on in a little bit. We stay in contact pretty regularly throughout the week. And she issued me some homework, and I'll show you some homework that I finished too, that you all have been encouraging me with too. So anyway, thank you so much. We are on the final countdown toward the wedding. My daughter Katie and I went and had our dress fittings today, and they fit perfect, and we are very pleased, and so we brought them home. And I've been visiting with Jessica throughout the day today, and she's doing well, and we're excited for her upcoming wedding. So I would appreciate prayers, though. you know, if you've been through it, you know that there's just so many details that come together, you know, and you're trying to plan and make sure you have checked everything off. And so I appreciate your prayers. I do want to share some other news, stitching related. So there's a couple of sales I'm going to be joining in. The Saturday Stitchers, which is Kim Goldman with the Contented Stitcher floss tube, and Celeste Creates, and she is also a floss tuber. And then April with April Heirlooms on Instagram. We're the Saturday Stitchers, and we are going to be doing a sale a week from today starting, and we would love for anyone to join. I think we're still working on that hashtag, so stay tuned for that. We'll be sure to share. But what we are doing is the Heartstring Samplery Love and Joy, and we're going to be stitching this together, and it's basically choose what colors you would like to use. I will tell you what the call for is. The called for colors are a 32 count graham cracker fabrics, and the name of it is Tea Set 32 count, and then the color that was used is Tennessee Red Clay. I don't have either of those, so I'm going to choose, I believe, this is, see if I can show it to you in good lighting, we'll see. This is Everything Else. It's a 36 count that I got at Craft Gallery, and that's a pretty good representation. It looks pretty similar to what is in the picture. And then I think I'm going to use the Classic Colorworks Holly Berry. It's kind of a pinky red. It shows really dark red there, but it does kind of have a pinky red color to it, and I think it would be really pretty. So that's what I'm going to use for mine. So we would like for you to join us. Like I said, the hashtag is still to be determined, so stay tuned for that and join in with us next Saturday. It's a beautiful stitch. I don't think it's going to take a very, very long time, but I think it would be a lot of fun to stitch and finish. It's just beautiful. I loved it when it first came out. I believe it was last year. The next thing I want to share with you is another SAL I'm going to be participating in. I have recently just reached out to Annie, the Proper Stitcher, and we've been talking back and forth on Instagram and just through her comments and her videos and things. And we both like JBW Designs very much so, and loved one of her new releases at the Needlework Expo that happened back in August. And I now have my pattern so I can show it to you. It is O'er the Fields We Go, and we are going to start this December 1st. And again, we'll have to figure out a hashtag for us, but we would love for you to join us. She shared this on her channel, and I'm sharing on mine. And there are several options for stitching this. So I'm going to be doing, I'm going to use out of my stash, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to use this DMC Ada 14 count. I think it's going to be great because I do intend to make a pillow, and I think it's going to have a really good weight. So when I get ready to make the pillow, it's going to be a great weight for that. And I'm going to use a pearl cotton as my thread. So I'm going to be doing a red background with the white thread. And this is pearl cotton. This one is a number 5. I've also pulled a number 8. So I've got to decide which size I want to use. The number 5 is a little thicker, and the number 8 would be a little bit thinner. So I've got to decide on that. But in the pattern, Judy also shows a picture of a white background with the red thread. And then let's see if I can show you this without showing pattern. There's also a white background with some blue. And those colors, let's see. She just says a blue floss and a white floss. I'm not seeing a specific, oh, here we go. Here we go. So if you're doing blue, it's Blue Beatrice by Classic Colorworks. If you're doing red on the white background, it was Ribbon Red by Classic Colorworks. And then if you were doing this white, she used the B52 DMC. So those are the options. But we would love for you to join us. I'm not sure. This is a B52 pearl cotton, and so is this one. So both of these are just the pearl cotton versions of the B52. So we would like for you to join us. And then I want to share something that's kind of fun. The new Quilts and More magazine, if you're familiar with this magazine, it is published on a quarterly basis based on the seasons. So winter, spring, summer, fall. And the quilt shop that I purchased this at is the Front Porch Quilt Shop in Ozark, Alabama. And the owner, Melanie, informed me that this is the last issue they will be publishing of this quilt magazine. So that kind of makes me a little sad. I didn't buy every one of them, but I have bought quite a few through the years and stitched, quilted some pieces out of it. But this particular issue has a cross stitch pattern by Kathy Haberman. You may have already known about that. But I was pretty excited about it and purchased it so I could do this mattress finish. And I haven't done one of these before, and I'm really excited about trying this. And I noted when I was standing in there getting ready to purchase the magazine, I wanted to get the embroidery floss in case I didn't have it. Well, it's DMC, but they didn't list the colors. But Kathy does share the colors on one of her latest floss tubes. And let's see, I also emailed her, and she shared them too. So they're DMC 03-165-931, 3782, and 3817. So if you're interested in stitching this, those are the colors she used. And she used a 32 count antique white Belfast linen. So I already have that in hand. So I'm excited to start these projects. So that's kind of my news update. I like to share an old FFO with you, and this is going to be a kind of a sewing project share. I don't know how many of you like to decorate for Christmas, like your sewing rooms or whatever, but I decided one year I would make an Abby bag, and I have made several of these over the years. And so I made a Mary Englebright Christmas Abby bag, and it kind of has a flower base, and then it has this big pin cushion that sits on the middle. And I found a fun button that kind of looked like Mary Englebright, and this Christmas stripe. Has a little pocket in there. You could put scissors, or you could put a little seam ripper, jack, as Louise calls it. And then it just has this cute little gathered bag that hangs down, and you can sit it by your sewing machine or your stitchy chair. They're just great for catching orts or little bits of fabric. So I thought I would share that. I have several of these and have made several and really have enjoyed gifting them. They're a great gift. All right, I'm going to get into my new FFOs. Well, down in Alabama, Louise and I did get to spend a couple of afternoons, and one day we got to spend pretty much all day together, and did some stitching and sewing and little projects that we wanted to do together. And we just had a great time. And the first thing that we did together is a pattern I bought while I was down there. And it is a bunny hill pattern. Take it out of the plastic for you. A little bit easier to see. And it's called Rudy. And we decided to make a Rudy. And this is Rudy. So Rudy is made from a fabric that is a scratch and sniff fabric. I had no idea. And it kind of smells like chocolate. So I just thought it was cute. He was fun to make. He was a little tedious. Those antlers, to get that stuffing up in those antlers was a little tedious, but it was fun. And then you stitch his little eye on there and put a fun bow on there, and so you have a Rudy. So we have fun making those. All right, the next thing we made was a snowman ball head, dough bowl filler, if you will. This is a Nancy Halverson Art to Heart is the name of her company, and it's Table Please 2 is the book that these come out of. She made, Louise Wanda made 3 of these for Jessica for a wedding shower gift, and then a table runner, and we decided we would make some for ourselves too. So this is my little snowman. He's got little earmuffs, and he's got his little headband, little stripe that we thought was so cute, his little carrot nose and his eyes. Just a lot of fun. His little white fabric has swirls in it, and it has been snowing here today. Can you believe it? Yeah, all day it's been snowing. So there's that little guy. He's a lot of fun to make. All right, then we made a project bag together. So let's see, what did I do with my project bag? Uh-oh. Oh, please. Here it is. This fabric is leather and lace. It is by Kathy Holden. Let me say that all again. Leather and Lace and Amazing Grace by Kathy Holden. She is with Moda. we used a charm pack and cut half of it, and then cut that one half in half again. And so we each had the 2.5-inch squares to make the front of our bag. And then we used her kind of a collage fabric on the back. Just some really beautiful sayings. Faith bigger than fear. Love that. Amazing grace. Let's see. There's the Amazing Grace logo, or typeset, whatever you want to say, the song. Just beautiful. And then the fabric that I put on in front of mine was this fabric. Wanda used a pink that she had in her stash. And so we had a great time making these together. So that was fun. Just a simple quilting crosshatch. And then I did some kind of a floral swirly swirls on the back. So that was fun to do together. And then found this cute fabric at the front porch as well, and decided to make some Christmas napkins. If you're looking for a hostess gift or something like that for these holidays, if you need something like that, or if you just want to have some fun napkins for your table, napkins are really quick and easy to make. There's some great tutorials online. This particular napkin, I used the tutorial from a Nancy Ziemann post, and it shows you how to do the mitered corners so that you get a really pretty nice mitered corner there. These are cut at 18 inches, so you could get 4 out of a yard if you were wanting to make 4. A yard of fabric could make 4 18-inch, and probably when they're finished, I would say they're about 16 inches by the time they're finished, which is pretty big. So it's plenty. And my plan is to I'm looking for, there are some cedar napkin rings from Hobby Lobby, and they're on sale, and I'm waiting to see if they get them in at my local store. They're not available online, and not all of the Christmas things have been put out according to my local store. So that's what I want to do, is get they're plain little napkin rings, and then I want to attach like a little bow and a candy cane to the napkin ring to kind of finish it off. And so this will be a gift. And I just think they turned out so cute, and I'm really pleased, and hope maybe that inspires you to try making napkins. And we're helping maybe not put so much paper in the landfill. So anyway, thought that was fun. All right, so Tannenbaum. We did work on a Tannenbaum, and I wouldn't be where I am in the progression of this quilt without Wanda. And I can't show it to you all in this space. I'm going to show you snippets of it because it'll just be easier. So I'm going to show you this corner. This is what all the corners look like. We put an applique of the poinsettias and the holly in each corner, which is what the pattern calls for. So we've got that all nailed down. It just has to be stitched. And then in the very center, see if I can hold this up so you can see it. And you're going to hear paper because this quilt has paper piecing in it, so that's why you're hearing paper. I can't really move it without. So this is the center. So there's the old Tannenbaum. So that is all put in and ready to be stitched. So I have made progress. The next thing to do is to start stitching down the pieces of applique that we've put on. So all the applique is on, it just now has to be stitched. And then it can be sandwiched and quilted and bound. So progress. Thank you, Louise. And then next I want to show you what we worked on yesterday. This is from the Vintage Christmas book by Lori Holt. we are making all the blocks, and we're using the 6.5 inch size. And we have been working on this somewhat steady. We kind of took a break, not intentionally, but it just kind of worked out that way. So we made Mr. Cookie. I made him yesterday. Wanda already had Mr. Cookie made. So I made him. And then we made the snowman, Mr. Snowman. Got him made. And then the new puppy. And the new puppy has lots of parts and pieces that he is adorable. So we have homework. We're going to try to finish, I believe it's 2 or 3 more blocks besides what we finished yesterday, and try to finish those before we get together and sew this Friday coming up. So homework kind of helps us stay on track and progress so we can get all of these blocks made. I think there's around 42 blocks. So we're well on our way. I think we're in the 30s, maybe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. All right, now I'm going to get back to the cross stitch and show you my FOs for cross stitch, what I finished since I last got to visit with you. So the first thing is from a book that I have borrowed from a friend. Let's see, find that for you. This is from the Stitcher's Journey, and I have been loaned this book, and this is called Thistle House Sewing Box. And this is my piece all finished. And I think it's so pretty. So I used the called for colors, and this piece of linen, I'm not sure what it is actually. If somebody wants to know, ask me in the description box or the messages or whatever, the comments, and I'll try to find out for you. I do have it in the other room, but it is really pretty. Love those colors, just different colors, but do love them. So that is Thistle House Sewing Box out of the Stitcher's Journey book. And then the next thing I have to show is the Madame Chantilly ornaments that I'm working on. So it's this pattern. I noticed Christy Porter with Java Girl Stitches, she's also making some of these. And she even changed them up a little bit, and some of them, instead of doing the white, she's doing the red around. So there's that. I want to do mine like that with the ornaments. And then, so here's my progress. So I've done 1, and then here's 2. Holly's 3. I changed the little bird. In the pattern, the little bird is brown. He's there on that corner. And I decided I wanted a blue bird in there. And then I'm working on the figgy pudding. So this is number 5. So I have to add my border for it and the little snowflakes that go around. So I'm making progress on these. So those are the 5 that got going. So this will continue to be a whip for me. All right, and the next one I have is the Blackbird Design stockings that I've been working on. And that is out of the book Home for the Holidays. And I have now completed all 5 of the stockings. So let's get the first one up. So there's the first one. I've got a note here. This was a 30 count and not a 32. So I'll have to watch the size of my template and just make it a little bit bigger. So there's the first one, the next one, I better do it this way because I've seen the other one. There's that one. And then flip it over. And here's this one. And then this is all done. The last four are done on a Belfast linen 32 count antique white. So those threads are a little darker. These are all with the called for threads. Just a different linen. And then there's the last one. It's beautiful. So I'm looking forward to finishing these. Maybe by the next video I might have them done. And I'll show you my finishing fabrics are by Three Sisters of Moda. So that's what I'll be using for finishing. All right. So next, Louise and I did a Stitching with the Housewives freebie because we were trying to see if we could stitch on the black. I had a lot of trouble stitching on the black when I made my table mat. You can go back and look at my Instagram feed and see the table mat with the turkey on it and the fall leaves. I really had a hard time seeing that black. And this is an Ada that we used, and this went much better, and thought it was very cute. And it's called A Very Merry Christmas. It's a freebie on Priscilla's blog, Stitching with the Housewives. And you can find links to her blog through her Instagram account or through their floss tube if you've ever tried that. Okay. And then the final whip that I worked on is my lilies. I only added a small motif. And so the motif that I worked on is right below the horse there. So I added that. So it's very slow right now because I'm so interested in the holiday stitching, but it will get some more love. Likely tomorrow I'll put some more into it and keep progressing on it. And that was Lilies. That is called Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery. And it's something I started January 1st of this year. And I'm not in any hurry to really finish it. I'm just making progress on it. All right. I do have a new start. This was for our anniversary in memory. And I don't know if you want to say memory. It was a new start for our anniversary. So it's called Token of Love. And it is a retreat piece that I received last year when I went to the Blackbird retreat at Craft Gallery. And this is a picture of it. To my knowledge, it hasn't been released yet. Not sure what the plan is for this piece. I'll show you my progress. I started it, I had planned to start it Sunday and I wasn't home yet, so I started it on Monday night. And this is my progress. So I'm using the called for colors and the called for fabric. It came in the kit that way. This is Picture This Plus 36 count Wren. And the called for colors. And the called for colors, they're on this little, those are the colors. So really pretty colors. I am thoroughly enjoying that stitch. So now I'll share with you some plans. I am planning on some new starts. Like I said, on December 1st, we're doing the O'er the Fields We Go by JBW Designs with Annie the Proper Stitcher. On on Thanksgiving Day, I want to start Rocking Horse Holiday by Artful Offerings. And I'm going to be using this is 36 count aged hazelnut. I did my own colors on this because I couldn't find, I think I was having trouble finding some of the colors. So I wound up doing some of my own colors. It might help if I had this behind it. So it only has 5 colors. So I'm using the Onyx. This is Ruby Slipper, Parchment, Grape Leaf, and Tarnished Gold. So those are the colors I'm going to be using. And in the pattern, it calls for Tarnished Gold, Onyx, and Parchment, but I changed Baby Spinach, the called for, to the Grape Leaf, and I changed the Rhubarb, which was also the called for, to the Ruby Slipper based on availability in my area. So that is going to be my Thanksgiving Day start. I'm pretty excited about that. I've never stitched an Artful Offerings piece, so I'm excited to do that. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I have a Hallmark collection of the rocking horses ornaments, and I just thought it would look really pretty in a display with those ornaments. So that's a big reason why I decided I wanted to do this particular pattern. I just think it's really pretty, and it looks reminds me of those beautiful ornaments that I have. And then the December 25th start that I'm going to have is, maybe I didn't bring it in here. I did. It's going to be Winter Rose Manor. So finally getting a start on this. So I'm excited about that. That'll be December 25th. I wanted to share that I have not heard from my 700 subscriber winner. And so I'm going to give it till my next video. And if I haven't heard from her in my next video, then I will draw again based on the comments of the video where I drew the names. So get in touch with me. I did comment on your comment. I believe it was, her name was Kathy Gunther. So get in touch with me, and I would love to send this out to you so you could have it for Thanksgiving. So thank you. And then, oh, I didn't realize I had a thread on it. Here, I'll show it again. There we go. So I want to share an encouraging word with you. Let's see. Oh, before I do that, I do want to share a couple of books that I found while I was away. So I found this, A Cross Stitch Christmas, and this is a Better Homes and Gardens publication. They have really nice publications. And this one is from 2001. The piece that caught my eye was this piece. Isn't that so cute? I just love that. And I bought the, it calls for Whisper for the Sheep. The little, kind of a fuzzy little yarn and our floss, and I'm excited to try that. It's got some other really pretty pieces in it. So So I found that. I also found this at Hobby Lobby. This was an embroidery book that I thought was really, really cute. I love the Choose Joy. Let's see if I can find that one real quick. The Choose Joy piece. Bright and be fun for spring. I heard Saltbox Stitcher talking about, Carol was talking about the Abecedarian series by Blackbird Design. And I've had my eye on a piece or a pattern of that series for a while. And I was at a shop in Decatur, Alabama on the way back home. And she happened to have it. So I went ahead and picked this one up. And it is called The Country Life. It looks a little muddy down here, so I'm going to have to really be careful and make sure those motifs stand out. The lady at the shop kind of warned me. She said, make sure check that out. Make sure your motifs are going to show up against all that grass. And then at the Front Porch Quilt Shop, I mentioned visiting there, and she had some sale books. And one of the books that I found on sale was Garden Club by Blackbird Design. It is an absolutely beautiful quilt book. And it also has a gorgeous, this is a wool applique piece that's just beautiful. I'm sorry my lighting is changing now that it's getting later in the day. Very beautiful. This is a beautiful font of cross stitch. All those letters are in this particular book. There's another, just a pin pillow. I just thought the lettering was just gorgeous. And then this particular cross stitch piece is just really pretty. It's called A Simple Wish. And then one of the projects in here that I just thought these are just really, really pretty. It's called Pressed Flowers in the black. And then this one is Garden Fair. And it's the same quilt, just different background. Same motifs and pieces. Ah, beautiful. And then, and this one's also autographed by Alma and Barb in 2010. And then this is Quilting Garden, and it was already, they'd already put a binding on it, so that's kind of nice. And it just has some really, really pretty applique. It's all pretty much applique, I believe. Let's see if I can even show the quilt. There's several quilts in here and applique pieces. Let me try to find the main quilt if I could. Should have had a marker in there. There's the quilt. It's beautiful. So, a couple of treasures along the way. All right, my encouraging word. I'm going to go back to the Psalms. I've been in Psalms quite a bit lately, and so I want to go back there. And I didn't write down my reference. Well, that wasn't smart of me, was it? Here it is. Psalms 42, verse 5. Why are you in despair, O my soul, and why have you become disturbed within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him for the help of his presence. I hope that encourages you today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the different things that I've been working on and hearing about my tales with Louise. And I just hope you're well. I hope you have a good stitchy friend to spend time with. And whether it's in person or FaceTime or Zoom, just invite someone to stitch with you. Even though you can't be in the same room necessarily, it's still a lot of fun, and you get to visit and share with one another. And so I would encourage you to reach out to someone that might want to do the same thing. So Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye.